All right, scholars, let's talk about antonyms. In this video, we're going to review quickly what antonyms are. We're going to talk about why we need to even use antonyms in life, and then we're going to talk about a cool thing called contronyms. Quickly think about a definition of antonyms, and you probably remember that antonyms are words that have opposite meanings. We talk about antonyms in pairs, in words, plural, because they are words that mean the opposite of each other, so we're always going to have at least two. If we think about common words that have antonyms, we might think about the word little, and we might think, oh, an opposite for little would be big. But of course, knowing our knowledge of synonyms, we can also think about words like huge or tall, depending on what we want to be thinking about with little. We could have a word like hot and have the antonym cold. Again, we can be more specific, like I could say freezing. Not every word has an antonym. Some words don't. Like if I think about the word couch, what does the word couch mean and what could be its opposite? Okay, so couch is something that you sit down on. If you're not sitting down on it, like what's the opposite of that? Are you sitting on the floor? Well, floor is not antonym for couch. Or are you standing up? Like standing's not an antonym for couch. Not every word has an antonym, and that's okay. It just is the way that language works. One more short little topic, and that is contronyms. So contronyms are really cool just from like a nerdy language perspective. Contronyms are words that are their own opposites. So if I have one word, it can have two opposite meanings. Let me give you two examples and then think about why that matters. The word cleave is kind of like an old-fashioned word, but it means both to hold together and to separate. So the King James Version said, for example, in Genesis, that a man would leave his parents and would cleave to his wife, meaning he would stick with her, stay by her side. But cleave can also mean to separate, like you can use a meat cleaver to separate the two pieces of meat from each other if you're cleaving. Another contronym is the word peruse. Peruse means to read something, and it can mean to read something really carefully and slowly, or it can mean to skim something over. So why do contronyms matter? Well, if we think about choosing our words carefully so that people understand our communication, if I say that I perused the article, do I mean that I read it carefully, or do I mean that I skimmed it? If there's no other context in what I'm saying, then peruse is not a great word since it's a contronym, and I could mean either thing there. So I could say, for example, I quickly perused the article, or I can just say, I very carefully read over the article. Sometimes making sure that we're clear without using a fancy word is actually a better option. All right, scholars, go off into the world using this knowledge.